The Samsung Galaxy A14 and the TECNO Spark 10 Pro are contenders in the same price range and space right now. But which of these smartphones is the best for you? The Galaxy A14 here, which costs 126,000 naira, $170 for the 4 gigs of RAM and 128 gigs of internal storage, while the Spark 10 Pro here costs 104,500 naira, which is $140 for 8 gigs of RAM and 128 gigs of internal storage. And that means double the memory here on the Spark 10 Pro for $30 less. You know, I'm giving the win to the Spark 10 Pro in this category. The Spark 10 Pro comes with a glass back while you get a plastic back for the A14. But don't worry, the plastic on the A14 is not your average plastic. It's fingerprint resistant, so you won't be leaving your prints all over like a criminal. As for the Spark 10 Pro, you might expect a lot of fingerprints on the back since it's glass, but surprise surprise, it does a great job at hiding them too. Design-wise, the A14 is a clone of the S23, while the Spark 10 Pro here looks like a wannabe iPhone. I'll give this category to both of them as this is subjective. Which do you prefer? Let me know in the comment section below. This is where it all gets interesting. Both smartphones have a 50 megapixel main sensor, but the A14 has an additional 5 megapixel ultra wide. Now when you flip over to the front facing cameras, you get a 13 megapixel from the A14 and a 32 megapixel sensor from the Spark 10 Pro. You know what they say, the bigger the camera, the better the selfie. And that's kind of true in this comparison. The TECNO Spark 10 Pro has a night mode feature, which means it's better for taking pictures in low light. However, I prefer the coloring you get from the Samsung's main camera, as they are truer to life in terms of the color tint and color temperature. As far as videos go here, the TECNO Spark 10 Pro brags of a 2K resolution video, while you get a better audio from this 1080p video resolution from the A14. It's a close call here and I'll let you guys decide on this one, so 1 point to each of these smartphones. You shouldn't expect top tier level performance from these smartphones, considering you're getting an Exynos 850 chipset on here and the Helio G88 from the TECNO here. You'd notice a better processing and speed from the TECNO. I mean, the processor on here is better and you get better multitasking in terms of the memory because you have double the RAM on this device. This difference can be seen in things from launching applications on the smartphones as seen on screen. So for this category, I'm going to give it to the TECNO Spark 10 Pro. Samsung makes some of the best displays out here, but the Spark 10 Pro holds its own. The TECNO Spark 10 Pro display is like a smooth criminal with 90Hz display as opposed to the LCD display you get on here, which is 60Hz. So this means that you get smoother scrolling and better graphics from the TECNO Spark 10 Pro. In terms of the brightness, they give you about the same range, but not the best smartphones outdoors, although there is an illusion here that makes it seem like the A14 has a brighter display. But that's because the TECNO Spark's display has a little more contrast and saturation to it. Otherwise, they're about the same in terms of color reproduction, and considering the refresh rate you get from the TECNO Spark 10 Pro, I'd say this takes the lead in this category. Now when it comes to the battery life on both smartphones, you have 5000 mAh battery, which means you can use them all day without having to worry about charging these devices. So this round is a tie. The point goes to both of them. Samsung wins in this round hands down with the One UI 5.1 over iOS 12.6 you get from TECNO. Samsung's user interface is more intuitive and well thought out, while the TECNO comes with tons of bloatware and slightly slows down the smartphone with the ads when the ads are being displayed. So yeah, it goes to the Samsung in this category. Both smartphones come with Android 13 out of the box, but which one of these would get updated into the future? The Samsung Galaxy A14 has a higher chance of getting at least 2 major software updates, while the TECNO Spark 10 Pro, well, let's just say it's a mystery. If you want a smartphone that's more like a regular budget smartphone experience, then the TECNO Spark 10 Pro is the perfect device for you. It's like a gift that keeps on giving, with these additional accessories like the TPU case, the pair of earphones and the charge brick you get here. Meanwhile, the A14 is like a minimalist dream. You have the simple packaging with just a USB-C connector here. So you have to buy every other accessory for the A14. The Spark wins in this category. At the end of the day, the TECNO Spark 10 Pro has more points than the Samsung Galaxy A14 and is definitely the better value for money. But that's based on this whole comparison here. You might be someone who loves to get software updates over things like the better refresh rate and better display on a smartphone, and that might actually move things around for you. Let me know if you are someone like that before you go ahead to check out my review on the Galaxy A14. That day.